best of the Morning X
with Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy. 99X.
Got a letter here from a mom who wants a piece. Dear Morning X, first of all, you must know that my family are big fans of the show and the station. I'm writing this email because as a mother, I must take revenge on the animal that hurt my child. Let me try to explain as briefly as possible. A few weeks back in Cartersville at Krystal.
Oh, you don't need to say anything else.
You remember that, do you?
Let's go ahead and play a song.
You just said it.
Cartersville and Krystal.
Cartersville and Krystal.
There was a Krystal eating contest hosted by none other than Crash Clark himself.
Your idea, I'm sure.
Now, I have a husband and 4 sons. We were all so excited that my husband, Mark, and my second oldest son, Sean, who was 16, were going to enter. They did. As we all anxiously awaited their turn, Sean went to visit with Crash. Sean followed him around some and even got a few pictures taken. There were other kids following him also.
Sounds good. Follow him around some.
Yeah.
We were having a good time watching the other contests and watching my 2 younger children jump in the jumpy thing. I don't know what that means.
That big cushion deal, you know.
Okay.
The moonwalk.
Yeah, you know, the jumpy
All right.
thing.
The moonwalks.
It wasn't long, though, before Sean came back with this look on his face that only a mother could see.
Oh, my God.
I immediately asked him what was wrong.
It wasn't a look. It was probably a Krystal burger hanging out of his mouth.
He said, Mom, and, you know, we can bring her on to hear the reading of this letter. He said, Mom, Crash told me that if I did not leave him alone and quit following him, he is going to call the manager and have me thrown off the property. I could not believe my ears. Of course, first I asked if Crash may have been joking, and Sean said he didn't think so. He seemed serious enough for Sean to back off and leave him alone. My next feeling was to console my child. I told him I was very sorry that Crash is a jerk.
Oh, my
and isn't as cool as we thought he was, and maybe Crash was intimidated by Sean's size. I then told him I'd call the Morning X Monday and take care of it. We resumed to have our fun. They had their contest, and wouldn't you know it, my Sean won. He ate 8 Krystal burgers and won all the prizes, and 99X staff members took pictures of him. I was so proud.
There's a shocker.
So now, however, I am crushed because of Crash. Now I cringe at the sound of his voice every morning as he talks traffic and trash, but I have to because I love the Morning X. Anyway, he let us down.
You ruined a family trip to Krystal?
Yeah, you know me.
I love my children and will, of course, protect their feelings always anytime I can, and blah, blah, blah.
She can't sleep at night. She wants revenge.
Sleep at night. She wants to avenge the treatment of her son. And this is Anna Bales. Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Anna.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We never get
Sure.
negative
Crash.
letters on Crash. Most people love Crash.
Absolutely. Now, we've heard the story. Crash, your comments.
Well, we did love Crash.
Well, you know, when you do an event out in Cartersville, it's usually a big thing. When you're hanging out at a Krystal on a Saturday, there's not a lot going on in Cartersville.
You know,
so,
she's just lucky I wasn't at the gig.
Oh, yeah, Anna, let me just tell you a little something, okay? If I put up with your little pestering son
You don't even
for
remember
30
who he
minutes, I remember him because not only did he not leave me alone, he not only followed me around, he had his face in my face. Every time I turned around, I bumped into him, and his words were, quote, unquote, I am not going to leave you alone till you give me a T-shirt. And that's exactly how he sounded, too. I said, just back away. I'll give you a shirt.
He's not a redneck child. I'm sorry. But I do know that he said that.
Yeah,
and
he
I do know
did.
how my Sean can be.
Which is why I was very nice for the first 30 minutes. And then, you know, I mean, I appreciate you listening to the station. Wait, hang on, Anna.
Yelling at you, though. Sean was he was in your face because he wasn't yelling at you after attention, you know?
Well, he
was
needed some
following you
attention
around.
somewhere because he wouldn't leave me alone. And I'll tell you what, I don't, you know, I appreciate you guys coming to the event. I appreciate you listening. You can form your own opinions, but I got to be honest with you. Your son was a pain in the ass.
He wasn't that bad.
Anna,
I've never heard Crash come in after a gig talking like that because I remember vividly. It was about a month ago, wasn't
Yes.
No one works the crowd and talks to people and hams it up more than Crash.
I love people. I
He
shake
loves people.
hands. I kiss babies, but your son
Your
just
daughters.
your daughters. I kiss your daughters too. Your son just pulled my last nerve, and he wouldn't go away. I even told the remote tech Lewis that was out there. I said, Lewis, this guy is just in my airspace.
Well,
He was
I kinda
all over
find
you.
that kind of cool.
Why would I find it cool
Yeah.
that a 16-year-old is drooling on my neck?
He wasn't drooling on your neck.
He was
He
attached
loves
to my
you.
spine.
He's a big fan of yours, you know? He saw you, and it's like, look, it's Crash, Mom. And I said, it is not. And he said, yes, it is.
Well, you can't take him
I said,
home.
he just got home from his honeymoon. He's not even tanned.
He was very tan.
Wait a minute.
Why didn't you just give him a T-shirt first of all and just shut him up?
Oh, I told him.
Yeah.
I told him we had limited supplies. We're waiting for the eating contest. We're going to give away stuff. Thanks for coming out. Yada yada yada. A lot of other people were there. We were doing some autograph signings, having a good time. Everybody was coming and going, taking a picture. He did not leave me alone, and he knows it too. I think if you honestly ask him, he knew he was a little bit of a pain in the rear end.
Who was
Like
signing
I said,
autographs? You have a big celebrity
I know
there?
how Sean can be, but it just shocked me the way you told him, you know.
Well, after
I'm gonna
30 minutes
have
of
you thrown off
it.
the property. He's 16.
Well, I said, look, dude, back
Look at
away.
this
I was
boy.
trying to speak the language. I was like, yo,
He
brah.
was totally let down. He
Well-
comes sit by me and he's like, well, that wasn't cool. He's hung out and volunteered his time over at the PlayStation tent. He's met Andrew
Volunteered
WK. He's got
his
autographs
time.
from all over the place.
in Crash's
the guy's
defense.
the biggest fans.
But in Crash's defense, because you've come to a few things, I mean, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden he's got ownership of Crash for
No,
a
he
couple
doesn't own
hours.
Crash, but it was the first time he ever got to interact with him.
And when we did interact, I said hi. We shook hands. I said hello. In fact, I even think I hugged him several times, and we took pictures, and all was well. Now, after that initial meeting, Ann, it's time for your son to back away and let me do the rest of what I've got to do. Not tell me that he's not going to leave
share
my
yourself with
side
all the other grabby kids.
and
They
share
were-
myself with all the other grabby
God,
kids.
that sounds
I
like a
can-
heavenly gig, Jimmy. Well,
Yeah, God.
Yeah, it was
how do we?
great.
I don't know.
It
Now,
really
Anna,
was.
let me,
I
Anna,
don't
let
know
me
how I
ask
was
you
overlooked
something
for this.
because let me ask you something because how Crash is describing your son, it kind of sounds like something a younger kid would do, not knowing any better. Have you ever talked to your son, like protocol wise, about just how to interact with people? Because maybe he was all over Crash.
Oh, I know he was all over Crash. But yeah, Sean knows how to act.
This segment's not even close to being over, and you don't want to miss part 2 coming up next. This is the best of the Morning X on 99X.